Imagine sitting in a quiet observatory late at night, surrounded by machines that are constantly listening to the universe. Most of the time, nothing interesting happens. Radio telescopes collect endless streams of data, signals from distant stars, galaxies, and cosmic radiation that has traveled for millions or even billions of years through space. Scientists expect noise, random fluctuations, background radiation left over from cosmic processes. But on August 15, 1977, something appeared in the data that would become one of the greatest mysteries in the history of astronomy. A signal from deep space, powerful, clear, and completely unexplained. This signal would later become known as the famous WOW signal. To understand why this signal caused such excitement, we have to go back to the 1970s, when scientists had already begun seriously searching for signs of intelligent life beyond Earth. Our home galaxy, the Milky Way, contains hundreds of billions of stars. Many of those stars are believed to have planets orbiting them. Even if a tiny percentage of those planets host life, the galaxy could contain thousands or even millions of civilizations. Because of this possibility, astronomers started programs dedicated to searching for radio signals that might come from alien technology. One of the most important tools used in this search was the Big Ear radio telescope located in Ohio, in the United States. Unlike traditional telescopes that capture images of stars and planets, the Big Ear telescope was designed to listen to the universe. It scanned the sky continuously, measuring radio waves coming from space. Every signal it detected was recorded by a computer and printed as lines of numbers and letters on long sheets of paper. The stronger the signal, the higher the number that appeared in the printout. Most of the time, the results were incredibly boring. Scientists would see long lists of weak signals representing natural cosmic noise, but every once in a while something unusual would appear. On that night in 1977, the telescope detected a radio signal that was far stronger than anything the researchers normally observed. The signal lasted for exactly 72 seconds. That length of time was not random. Because of the way the Big Ear telescope scanned the sky as Earth rotated, any signal from a fixed point in space would only be detected for about 72 seconds. Before the telescope moved past it, that meant the signal appeared to come from a specific location in space, rather than from something nearby like an aircraft or satellite. When the data was printed, it showed a strange sequence of characters, 6-5. Each of those characters represented a rapidly increasing signal strength, followed by a gradual decline. When astronomer Jerry R. Ehman later reviewed the printout, the unusual sequence immediately caught his attention. Shocked by how strong and unusual the signal was, he circled the code with a red pen and wrote a single word in the margin: "Wow." That simple reaction gave the signal its famous name. The signal appeared to come from a region of the sky, in the direction of the constellation Sagittarius. This area lies roughly toward the dense central region of our galaxy, where billions of stars are packed together. What made the signal even more intriguing was its frequency. It was detected very close to 1420 MHz, a frequency known as the hydrogen line. Hydrogen is the most common element in the universe, and it naturally emits radio waves at this exact frequency. Because hydrogen exists everywhere in space, many scientists believed that if an advanced civilization wanted to send a signal that other intelligent beings could recognize, they might choose this frequency. It would act like a universal channel on the cosmic radio dial, a place where different civilizations might intentionally listen for one another. This coincidence made the WOW signal incredibly interesting to researchers involved in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. The signal was strong, narrow in frequency, and located near a part of the spectrum that scientists believed alien civilizations might intentionally use, but the mystery deepened when astronomers tried to detect it again. Immediately after the discovery, scientists pointed telescopes back toward the same region of the sky, hoping to hear the signal once more. If it appeared again, researchers might be able to track its source or even determine whether it contained information, but the signal never returned. For days, weeks, and months, scientists continued searching. They monitored the same region of space repeatedly, hoping that the mysterious transmission might repeat. Years passed, and still nothing appeared. Decades later, astronomers are still scanning the skies for signals similar to the WOW signal, but despite enormous improvements in technology and far more powerful radio telescopes, the exact signal recorded in 1977 has never been detected again. Because the signal never repeated, scientists began exploring other explanations. One possibility was that the signal came from a natural cosmic source, rather than an intelligent civilization. Space is full of powerful radio emissions produced by exotic objects like pulsars, quasars, and magnetars. However, many of these sources produce signals with distinctive patterns that astronomers can easily recognize. The WOW signal did not match the typical characteristics of these natural sources. It appeared extremely narrow in frequency and behaved differently from known cosmic radio bursts. Another theory suggested that the signal might have been caused by something much closer to Earth, perhaps a satellite, aircraft, or classified military transmission briefly passed through the telescope's field of view. However, this explanation also had problems. The Big Ear telescope was carefully designed to detect signals coming from deep space, rather than nearby sources. Additionally, researchers checked satellite records and found no known objects that could have produced such a signal at that time. In 2017, a new hypothesis emerged suggesting that the signal might have been caused by a comet passing through the region of space where the telescope was pointed. Some scientists proposed that clouds of hydrogen surrounding a comet could have produced radio emissions near the hydrogen line frequency. Two comets, known as 266P, Christensen and P. 2008Y de Gibbs, were passing through that part of the sky around the time the signal was detected. According to this theory, hydrogen released from the comets might have created the unusual radio burst. However, many astronomers remain skeptical of this explanation. Later observations of comets did not produce signals nearly as strong as the original WOW signal. In addition, the characteristics of the 1977 signal still appear more consistent with a narrowband transmission than with natural hydrogen emissions. Because of these uncertainties, the comet explanation remains controversial within the scientific community. Today, nearly 50 years after the event, the WOW signal remains one of the most fascinating mysteries in astronomy. It represents a moment when scientists briefly detected something that perfectly matched what they expected an artificial interstellar signal might look like. Yet without a repeat detection, it is impossible to confirm whether the signal was truly produced by intelligent life or by some rare natural phenomenon that we still do not fully understand. Modern projects searching for extraterrestrial signals continue to monitor the skies using far more advanced technology. Massive radio telescopes and arrays now scan millions of stars for unusual transmissions. Artificial intelligence systems analyze enormous amounts of data, looking for patterns that human researchers might miss. Even with these improvements, the universe remains largely silent. But the WOW signal reminds us that the universe is full of surprises. Somewhere among the billions of stars in the Milky Way, there may be civilizations far older and more advanced than our own. If one of those civilizations ever decided to send a message across the vast darkness of space, it might look very similar to the mysterious signal detected on that quiet night in 1977. And perhaps one day, somewhere on Earth, another scientist reviewing an ordinary stream of telescope data will suddenly notice something impossible to ignore, a pattern that does not belong to nature, a signal that clearly carries intention. When that moment finally happens, it may confirm one of humanity's oldest questions, that we are not alone in the universe. For decades after the discovery, scientists continued to analyze the data from that night in 1977, hoping that some hidden clue might reveal the true origin of the signal. The numbers and letters printed by the telescope's computer represented the strength of the radio waves as the signal gradually increased and then faded away. This pattern was exactly what researchers would expect if the source of the transmission were located far away in space and slowly passed through the telescope's detection area. As Earth rotated, that small detail made the event even more fascinating, because it strongly suggested that the signal came from a fixed point, somewhere deep in the universe rather than from a moving object near Earth. The location of the signal in the sky was carefully calculated by astronomers studying the data from the Big Ear radio telescope. Because the telescope used two separate receivers, scientists were able to narrow down the region where the signal likely originated. Both possible locations were in the direction of the constellation Sagittarius, a region filled with stars, dust clouds, and complex structures near the central part of the Milky Way. This area is one of the densest parts of our galaxy, containing millions of stars packed closely together. If intelligent civilizations exist anywhere in the Milky Way, regions like this would statistically be among the most likely places to find them. However, one of the biggest problems with the mysterious signal is that it appeared only once. Radio telescopes across the world have spent decades listening to the same region of space. Larger and far more sensitive instruments have repeatedly scanned those coordinates, hoping to detect another burst. But despite these efforts, nothing like the original signal has ever been observed again. This has led many scientists to believe that the event may have been caused by some rare cosmic phenomenon that occurred only briefly and then disappeared. Over time, astronomers began comparing the WOW signal to other types of unusual radio bursts discovered in space. One example is the phenomenon known as fast radio bursts, which are extremely powerful flashes of radio waves coming from distant galaxies. These bursts can release enormous amounts of energy in just a fraction of a second. However, the characteristics of fast radio bursts are very different from the signal detected in 1977. Fast radio bursts usually last only milliseconds, while the mysterious signal lasted a full 72 seconds. In addition, fast radio bursts are often detected across a wide range of frequencies. While the famous signal was extremely narrow and focused near the hydrogen line, another possibility considered by researchers was interference from human technology. During the 1970s, the number of satellites orbiting Earth was growing rapidly. Communication systems, radar installations, and military equipment all produced radio emissions that sometimes interfered with scientific observations. But when scientists carefully investigated this possibility, they found no evidence of any satellite or terrestrial transmitter that could have produced the signal. In fact, the frequency used by the signal was part of a protected band reserved specifically for radio astronomy, meaning it was unlikely that human technology was transmitting on that channel. The mystery grew even deeper because the signal's strength was extraordinary. For such a powerful signal to be detected from deep space, the source would need to produce an enormous amount of energy. If the transmission came from a distant star system, the civilization responsible would have needed technology capable of generating radio waves, far more powerful than most of the transmitters currently used on Earth. Some scientists have speculated that such a signal could have been created intentionally as a beacon, a powerful broadcast designed to announce the presence of an advanced civilization to anyone listening across the galaxy. The idea of an interstellar beacon has long fascinated scientists involved in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence. If a technologically advanced species wanted to communicate across vast distances, sending a narrow radio signal at the hydrogen line frequency would make sense. Any civilization capable of building radio telescopes would eventually discover this natural cosmic frequency and might consider it the logical place to send or search for signals. Because of this, the location of the mysterious transmission in the hydrogen band remains one of the most intriguing aspects of the entire event. Despite all the speculation, the truth is that scientists still do not know what caused the signal detected in 1977. It might have been produced by a natural astronomical process that researchers have not yet discovered. It could have been a rare cosmic alignment or a temporary burst from an unusual object somewhere in the galaxy, or, in the most exciting possibility, it could have been the brief detection of a signal created by intelligent beings living on a distant world. Today, the search for signals like the WOW signal continues with far more powerful technology than existed in the 1970s. Massive observatories and radio arrays now scan huge portions of the sky every night, collecting enormous amounts of data. Modern computers and artificial intelligence systems analyze these signals automatically, searching for patterns that might indicate artificial transmissions. Some observatories are capable of monitoring millions of stars simultaneously, something that was impossible when the Big Ear telescope was operating. New instruments such as enormous radio telescope arrays are being built around the world to expand the search even further. These facilities will allow astronomers to detect signals far weaker and more distant than anything previously observable. If another mysterious transmission appears somewhere in the sky, modern technology will be far better prepared to capture and analyze it in detail. Yet even with all these advances, the universe remains quiet. So far, scientists have not detected any confirmed signal from an extraterrestrial civilization. The skies are filled with natural radio noise from stars, galaxies, and exotic cosmic objects, but none have shown the clear signs of intelligent origin that researchers hope to find. That silence raises a profound question known as the Fermi paradox. If intelligent life is common in the universe, why have we not yet detected clear evidence of it? The mysterious signal from 1977 remains one of the few moments in history when scientists briefly believed they might have heard something extraordinary. A signal that appeared suddenly, matched many expectations for an artificial transmission, and then vanished forever. Whether it was a rare natural event or something far more remarkable, it continues to inspire curiosity and debate among astronomers even decades later. Perhaps somewhere in the distant future, another radio telescope will detect a similar signal, but this time it will repeat. Scientists will be able to track its source, analyze its structure, and determine whether it carries information. If that day ever comes, it could mark one of the most important discoveries in human history. Until then, the mysterious signal recorded on that quiet night in 1977 remains one of the greatest unanswered questions in the exploration of the universe, reminding us that the cosmos still holds secrets we have yet to understand. Even today, the story of the mysterious signal continues to capture the imagination of scientists and the public alike. The universe is unimaginably vast, and our technology has only begun to explore a tiny fraction of it. When the signal was detected in 1977, humanity had only recently begun seriously listening to the cosmos for signs of other intelligent beings. The discovery showed that even a brief anomaly in a stream of scientific data can raise questions that remain unanswered for generations. The astronomer who first noticed the unusual sequence in the telescope data, Jerry R. Ehman, later explained that the signal stood out immediately among thousands of ordinary measurements. It was stronger than typical cosmic background noise and appeared extremely focused in frequency, meaning it did not spread across a wide range of radio waves the way natural emissions often do. This narrow band characteristic is exactly what scientists expect from artificial transmissions, because technology usually produces signals concentrated at specific frequencies. The telescope that detected the signal, the Big Ear Radio Telescope, had been part of an early effort to search for extraterrestrial technology. At the time, the idea of detecting alien civilizations using radio waves was still relatively new. Researchers believed that radio signals might travel enormous distances through space without losing too much strength. Because of this, radio astronomy became one of the primary tools in the scientific search for intelligent life beyond Earth. When the mysterious signal was first analyzed, scientists carefully examined every possible natural explanation. The universe produces many powerful radio emissions. Pulsars, for example, are rapidly rotating neutron stars that emit beams of radio waves like cosmic lighthouses. Quasars near the centers of distant galaxies can also produce intense radio signals as matter falls into supermassive black holes. However, these sources usually produce repeated signals or recognizable patterns. The mysterious transmission detected in 1977 behaved differently. It appeared suddenly, lasted for just over a minute, and then disappeared completely. Because the signal was detected near the hydrogen frequency, researchers initially believed it might have originated from a distant star system within our own galaxy, the Milky Way. Hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe, and its radio emission frequency is well known to astronomers. Many scientists have suggested that if an advanced civilization wanted to send a signal designed to be recognized by other intelligent species, choosing this frequency would make sense. Any civilization studying astronomy would eventually discover it, making it a kind of universal reference point for communication. Despite decades of study, the original signal has never been observed again. Scientists have pointed radio telescopes at the same region of the sky many times. They have searched the surrounding areas and expanded their observations to cover wider portions of space, but the signal remains unique, a single unexplained event recorded in the history of radio astronomy. This mystery has led researchers to consider the possibility that the signal may have been produced by something extremely rare. Some cosmic events occur only once or happen so infrequently that they are difficult to observe again. A sudden burst of energy from an unusual astronomical object could potentially create a signal similar to the one detected. However, without additional observations, it is impossible to confirm such a theory. In the decades since the discovery, the search for extraterrestrial signals has become far more advanced. Modern observatories use massive arrays of radio antennas, capable of scanning huge areas of the sky simultaneously. Sophisticated algorithms and artificial intelligence systems analyze enormous streams of data, looking for unusual patterns that might indicate technological activity. The amount of information collected by these systems is vastly greater than anything available to astronomers in the 1970s. Scientists involved in these programs continue to monitor millions of stars and distant regions of space. Every unusual signal is carefully examined to determine whether it might have an artificial origin. Most of the time, these signals turn out to be natural cosmic phenomena or interference from human technology. But researchers remain hopeful that one day they may detect something truly extraordinary. The mysterious transmission known as the WOW signal remains one of the most intriguing clues in the search for life beyond Earth. It serves as a reminder that the universe still holds many secrets waiting to be discovered. Somewhere among the hundreds of billions of stars in our galaxy, there may be civilizations that have existed for millions of years, developing technologies far beyond our own. If such civilizations are out there, it is possible that signals from their worlds are already traveling through space, slowly crossing the vast distances between stars. One day, a radio telescope on Earth might detect a transmission that clearly carries information, patterns, mathematics, or even encoded messages that cannot be explained by natural processes. That moment would represent one of the most important discoveries in human history. Until then, the mysterious signal recorded in 1977 continues to inspire both curiosity and caution. Scientists know that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. A single unexplained signal is not enough to prove the existence of alien intelligence, but it is enough to remind us that the universe is far more complex and mysterious than we once imagined. Every night, radio telescopes around the world continue listening to the cosmos. They scan the sky, analyze radio waves from distant stars, and search for patterns hidden within the cosmic noise. Somewhere out there in the darkness, another signal might already be on its way toward Earth, traveling silently across the galaxy. And when it finally arrives, humanity will once again be listening.